know, 1 million cups is done all over the nation. And today, 1 million cups is now in 30 cities, launching in 4 new cities. Springfield, Missouri is one of them. Let me grab the list here. There's a county out in Virginia that's starting 1 million cups. Shreveport, Louisiana, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So 4 new cities, pretty exciting. And Tulsa was, I think, the 23rd city. So it's pretty cool. All right, let you grab your seat. This morning we've got Andy with OfferBoxx. OfferBoxx is a cool, is it probably MVP, is your status right now? Product. They're reaching in-store customers with a product that they've developed that integrates with digital technology. So give it up for Andy with OfferBoxx.
Thanks, Dan. Hey guys, I'm really glad to be here to talk to you about what we're doing at OfferBoxx to help retailers and brands reach their in-store customer. So, some of you may have heard people say, or even thought to yourself, that retail sales that happen in physical stores would one day all go online, and the retail store would die. And even this way of thinking has got retailers really focused on building their e-commerce platform, building tools to help them target and acquire customers online. Until recently, that trend is starting to shift to how do I take get online, how do I take online now offline? And so, with 90% of retail sales still happening in physical locations, retailers are starting to turn their attention back on their most valuable assets, their retail stores. And they're looking at adopting technology that helps them understand more about who that in-store customer is, or really takes some of that sophistication they've had online for quite some time into the retail store. So at OfferBoxx, we've noticed that retailers and brands have several solutions online to run efficient and effective promotions, to target and acquire those customers, get their attention, gather some information. But the solutions that are being used in store today really are antiquated. They're old school. You know, they're collecting entries of information on pen and paper. They're using solutions that maybe don't provide a really good in-store experience, and they're not taking advantage of that real-time interaction that's happening between the retailer and the customer. And so at OfferBoxx, we're building a solution to help retailers and brands engage their in-store customer, collect some valuable data that helps them understand more about who that customer is, and gives them the ability to reach out to them in real time with relevant offers that help them increase sales. So you can say OfferBoxx really is customer analytics and digital promotions for the physical world of the retail store. So I really, again, appreciate you guys giving me a chance to talk to you about what we're doing. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on kind of where we're at right now in this MVP or idea. We really are early stage of the company. We're looking right now to connect with some local retail or marketing professionals to talk about the idea where we're at with that, potentially pilot that, so we can see what the response is from a consumer standpoint, from retailer and value they get. So, any questions you guys have?
All right, let me grab the microphone. Here you go, Amy.
All right, so I'm a little lost on the logistics. So when I log into a Bed Bath & Beyond, I need to log into something or on my phone, connect. Is it checking? I mean, how do you
So
access the offers?
initially what we're looking to use is like a digital screen, right? So there's a lot of people really looking at the idea of how do I push you stuff to your mobile phone, and for us, we're investigating that, but there's a lot of barriers to entry for a consumer to say download an app and then log into Wi-Fi or agree to location services and then be willing to download every retailer's app. So the idea of in-store screens is already used today, but a lot of those screens are really dumb, right? They're just providing information, but they're not really doing things like that. So how can we use a digital screen that engages you, asks you for maybe something in terms of like, here's a deal, here's an offer for 40% off, well, we need your email address or your cell phone number, we can text that to you. So you're actually activating that screen, right? And really engaging with that company. So we can measure things like not only how many activations or engagements were there, but what time of day was it? What location were they at? Where within the store were they? You know, what department had the most effective promotion or campaign? What particular image or offer worked the best? For me, the idea is how do you A/B test that? If you have multiple locations, can you say I offer 5% here, 20% here? And really, I could offer 5% across the board because the engagement was the same, and people still utilize that promotion. So yeah, the idea really is digital screens. We're starting with something simple like an iPad or a tablet device that already has that capability to interact or talk back.
What's your vision for this screen size store? What attracts me water to the screen?
So for me, there's the idea of, okay, how do I reach a broad market, you know, with the idea of getting people a ton of ads and seeing who engages and who's willing to interact with me. There's also the idea of a brand of how do I target those people who are my customer, who are in front of my product in a way that lets me understand what that customer thinks about me, or what that customer, what the value that customer is to me. So I understand, I guess, your concern of how are people going to see this. Today, a lot of retailers use branding or signage or whatever to attract you to a certain promotion. And I guess the idea of an iPad would be that's the interaction point. So one, they could use bigger signs or something that would normally post on there. And two, how do we just get those people who are actually in front of our product and brand, experiencing it, touching it, playing with it? For instance, like you may have walked into a Target or a Best Buy where you got headphones, you try those on. What would be the value of real-time interaction with that customer and feedback about that product? You know, hey, I don't like it, did it sound good, was the price too high? Some information that will give you feedback on reach that customer and
What's your differentiator compared to a retail location putting their existing web form, survey forms on an iPad right now, putting it in a kiosk and doing it themselves? What do you offer different?
So essentially right now we're offering a solution that has a stronger back end than just a normal, let's collect some data and put it up on like a database and then you can pull that data down. So our goal really is allowing retailers to quickly put up some kind of campaign, target that campaign across different locations, understand the value or the return on investment for each location. It's more than just let's collect some data, let's put up a screen, collect some information. It's really about what is that telling you on the back end and what other data points can we pull in outside of the answers to that store. So for instance, can we pull in weather data that says, hey, if you ran this campaign, it was rainy outside, you got more people that came in during this time because of rain. So at this point, if you're collecting data with like a WooFoo form or a form stack, you're not getting a lot of robust analytics tools that will say, they're going to pull in demographics and maybe spit out some numbers and percentage of participation. So in terms of backend, I'm talking about from a retailer's point of view or a marketer's point of view, they want to sit at their desk, they want to be able to build a campaign and launch that campaign on multiple devices. So our backend will allow them to not have to have someone at each store literally change or flip that campaign, but they'd be able to build, launch that campaign and push it to that device without the need or interaction from the in-store.
So everything I've heard so far is
Yeah.
there we go. Just hold it. It's been all about why is this good for the retailer, what it's going to do for us. Yet everything relies upon me as the consumer wanting to do something with your system. Why is what you're doing any better than printed on receipt? The email I get afterwards, the mailer I get in the mail. what's in it for me that's going to make me want to do something? Because ultimately, that's what's going to make Lowe's want to buy you. All these other people use you.
Sure. So from a consumer's perspective, when you're at home and you get a mailer or you're sitting on the couch and you see a commercial, right, you're potentially being influenced, but you're less likely at that point for that to be a relevant offer to you. So you're in the store and you're actually shopping in the moment. You're closer to that purchasing decision. If you're able to get an offer that makes sense for you in the moment, then you're more likely to utilize that offer and be willing to spend money because you're kind of in that purchasing mode, right? So initially the retailer would have to know, okay, I'm targeting this area of the store. So let's use an example like that Dick's Sporting Goods. Go into Dick's, if you're a golfer, you may shop in the golf section, right? So you walk in the golf section and they have a promotion or campaign right to say, here's a chance to win a set of golf clubs. That golfer would say, hey, yeah, I want a set of golf clubs. So they go and they enter to win that contest and get whatever information is needed. And then Dick's could set up an immediate response that says, hey, by the way, golfer, we have Nike golf clubs on sale. You may want to check those out. So there's relevance because we know where you're shopping or what you're interested in, and we can offer you promotion about, what else is going on in the store. Maybe lead to you.
Andy, can you talk a little bit about first of all, how you came up with the concept, and then I see the in-store engagement. Are you guys developing some sort of piece that you can utilize with your customers, or what's sort of the thinking with that?
So the idea itself really kind of spurred from me just kind of always being a thinker and always looking for like how do you improve. And my day job right now is I'm an operations manager, so I'm all about efficiency and how do you make things better and save money. So looking at retailers while I'm in store, just one day kind of running into some companies who are running these in-store contests, and seeing them still collecting entries on pen and paper is where I started, thinking, okay, we've been using mobile devices and digital entry online and all kinds of stuff for so long. Why are people still relying on pen and paper to collect the information they want about these people participating? And so it's developed and kind of molded itself from there. In terms of engagement, right now engagement means interact with a customer in a way that pulls them in, draws them in, and then speaks back out to them once you get the information. But like I said earlier, we're looking at how to use things like beacon technology to be able to understand someone's location or location awareness, and then be able to speak to them with relevant information, maybe based on that department or what's going on. But again, we kind of discussed what are the barriers to entry there, how we overcome those. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with beacon technology, but something like an iPad has what's called iBeacon already built into it. So using a digital screen with a tablet that already allows you to also use a beacon technology could create a way for you to visualize something and then also pull down an offer straight from that screen to your device. Push an offer to somebody.
And so on the in-stores, do you have a store that you're piloting this in, or what sort of hardware are you utilizing?
So right now we've got some demo equipment that we've been using, really just kind of constructed product, which is iPads and kiosks for the ability to attach kiosks to something of that nature. But we are not fully piloting with anybody at the moment, so one of the things that we're looking for right now from the entrepreneurial community is the ability to connect with marketers or local retail, to people that we can actually get in front of to discuss what's the offering here, what do you guys see value in, and can we run a test pilot at your location to see what the response is from your customer.
Do you need somebody that already has an online presence? Because it's a little on a local person
grocers and local manufacturers of goods like that? Could it work in a high traffic, I mean, that kind of not, it's different retail, but it's retail, right? So, or resellers or the seasoning, let's say. Manufacturer of chili seasoning, right? It's local. What about that? Could that, I mean, it's relevant offers right now, and then other goods behind. Could that work?
Yeah, I would think right now what we're looking for is anybody with a physical location, typically with a lot of traffic, who needs to understand who that customer is, who their customer is they're reaching at that location. People who attend events, trade shows, maybe on a regular basis, we find value in this on a monthly basis.
So I'll want to catch up with you.
And quick question. So is this something that you could offer to retailers that you're talking to as like a less invasive way of getting their information? Because I know that right now, a lot of times what's going on is retailers are like buying information from other people that you're really giving your email or your physical address or whatever information they're collecting. But then they're declaring that they're trying to take their, curtail their marketing towards you. But this is a way that if the customer is coming into their store willingly, is then again willingly giving this information over, as opposed to them like just somehow getting it and you feel like you're being marketed to, and then really like it's almost I think it's sort of creepy. So maybe it's a way that is less invasive and is more free will.
Yeah, so you're getting permission, right? And I agree with that. And the good thing about, being able to offer somebody something of value and relevant to them is they're more willing to give out some information. Statistics and people that we've talked to and some secondary research has 85% of people say, hey, if you're offering something, they need an instant gratification or instant reward, and I'm willing to give you some kind of personal information. That level of information may differ depending on who the person is, but they're willing to give up something in return for that value.
Okay, so what's next for you guys? Are you raising capital? I mean, obviously you're looking to start piloting this with a few retailers.
Yeah,
So are you guys financially?
our next goal right now is to connect with those companies who'd be willing to, go into deeper talks about this locally and pilot this, so we can kind of get a better understanding of our offering, where the value is, what we need to focus on building out. And then, our next goal is to raise capital. So we were recently at the IT immersion company. We did raise a little seed money there. Still working with that, but our goal is to be able to, really build the product out and improve this, and then eventually get into big box retail. So we'll need some funding to do that.
Any other questions? Here you go. Let me give you the microphone.
Is this just one product, or do you have many facets to this? Is this one offering? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
right now this is definitely one product. The idea is, building out this piece, and we've got a bigger vision, obviously, for where this could go and the use cases that it can be built into, but we're focusing really on the one, how do we promote, collect information, and offer something that's going to real time.
I have a quick question. Who else is doing this? I mean, surely there's some other companies that are already in this space.
So our competitors right now do consist of people who are in kind of the proximity marketing, where they require people to log in when they get to a store, use an app, or check into Wi-Fi or Bluetooth low-E technologies like iBeacon. Other companies do tablet-based data collection, mostly for surveys. So their goal is, how do we help you on location, survey people, and gather information that way. But no one has really put a focus on how do we help you do promotions or offer something that makes them want to take a survey or answer a couple questions or provide some info, whatever that may be, that you find is valuable information to use in your retail store.
So I've heard your pitch, and I've heard the questions and answers, and I'm still not clear exactly what you do. Could you, I don't know if there's a 15-second elevator pitch you can give me. I don't know the difference between maybe the surveys, and what exactly is the promotion that you would be doing with your app that's not being done right now?
So one example would be, picture I have up here of Best Buy. Best Buy does a survey where they ask you either to go to a website or a social media page or mail in an entry form, where they're basically saying, hey, here's a chance to win $5,000 for a shopping spree in our store. We want to get some information about you. Could you provide that in these manners? And our goal is, let's set up a kiosk in their store, let people engage in the moment when they're actually shopping and in the experience versus asking them to go home and go online where they may forget or ask them on their receipt where the receipt might say, here's your chance to win, go to this website. But by the time you get home, you've forgotten about it and you've thrown it in the trash, right?
What is the thought behind setting up a kiosk instead of pushing the actual promotion or survey to their mobile device? Because everybody already has a device. You're creating a point of congestion for people to come and sign up for something when you could make it available to everybody who walks by that area.
Sure. So that's a thought. That's something we're looking at doing is how do we get someone to see a sign or see that kiosk and then be able to take that survey with them. When you look at sweepstakes laws or contest laws, they actually state that you have to create an entry point for anybody to be able to enter the contest. So those people who don't know how to do that or don't have a maybe some yet, that would kind of put them out of the running for that. So you may be forced to then take a paper entry or still do mail-in or something like that. So it's a solution that we've created that says anybody can really do it. It kind of follows those laws. And then what are those other ideas that we can help someone take that with them? Maybe text them a link or something.
All right, Andy, if you would, you've touched on it a little bit, but recap for us how the entrepreneurial community can help you.
So if you guys know or you are a marketer or someone in the promotion industry or local retail, we'd like to talk to you about what we're doing, what that offering might be able to do for you, and get your feedback on it. Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, bear with me, I'm flying solo today, so I'm going to jump around here. Announcements for today. Forge Ahead series, Thursday the 27th, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. It is Alternative Sources of Funding panel. We'll post all these links on our Facebook page. Open Line has an event, digital marketing for everyone. Writing, analytics, and optimization with Eric Morrow, a digital marketing expert. That's on Friday, this Friday, 11:30 to 1. You can get those details at themindtulsa.com/events. And then we've been pushing this one pretty hard, but if you're a freelancer or an entrepreneur, and you can come out on Friday, March 7th. We've got a co-working day taking place in the Brady Arts District, brought to you by Typros, The Forge, The Mind, and CCEW. And it's all day, Friday, March 7th. It's at the Ford Building, which is at 223 North Main Street. You can find that at themindtulsa.com/events as well. They're sort of piloting and testing, is co-working good for Tulsa? Would it work? So if you think it would and you'd like to come out and support, please just bring your laptop or whatever and come hang out with everybody. Get some cross collaboration. I think it's going to be a fun time. They've got a couple of events and speakers with that as well. All right, and then lastly, for those of you that didn't hear, last week the founder of 1 Million Cups was supposed to be in Tulsa. He got the flu literally the day before. So, but he's coming this next week. So Tulsa's done really well on the 1 Million Cups scene. He's bringing a film crew. So he's going to film us, talk about what Tulsa's up to, maybe interview some of you guys. So if you could, plan on being here next Wednesday. Also invite a friend or two, bring your grandmother, bring everybody. Let's pack the house. We'll have lots of coffee, and then you can also meet Nate. And then if you've spoken here, and we've talked about maybe you going and speaking at other 1 Million Cups chapters, it'd be good for you to be here as well. You can make the connection with Nate and get introduced to one of the other 29 cities across the nation that you might could go speak at as a 1 Million Cups alum. So next up, we got Matt Galloway with Go.Do. I got to pull up the presentation here. There we go. All right, Go.Do. It's a social platform. I'll let Matt fill you in. It's very cool. I've actually been playing around with it for the last maybe 6 weeks, and I enjoy it, and I check in on it quite regularly. So give it up for Matt Galloway.
I'm always amazed when anyone gives me a microphone. It's always really a bad idea. Am I the only one that can help with the, hey, good looking, be back to pick you up later. So, like, that's my test to see how many people in the audience are. So my name is Matt Galloway, and I'm with Go.Do. We are a social platform for spurring action, creating change, and measuring impact. So thought leaders want to do more than influence thinking. They want change champions in their organizations. So you think about people like Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who's an expert in health, and he's really focused on better health through preventative lifestyle instead of going in and fix things later. Better living lifestyle. I should probably learn how to use Prezi before giving a presentation with Prezi. Better than just
Go back to full screen.
Sorry. This doesn't count for 6 minutes. So organizations like Sierra Club are focused on environmental issues, or brands that are like Dove, who are using innovative marketing techniques to really try to understand how to improve the lives of their target market through their kind of innovative marketing strategies. But existing social media lets them share ideas, and that's what social media is all about. So if we look at what these folks are doing on Facebook, so here's a tweet from Sanjay Gupta, kind of posting an article that people might read about, kind of a feel-good post from the Sierra Club, a wonderful photograph of a ladybug and a nice little feel-good quote. Or Dove, a little game thing on Facebook, because apparently having women sit in front of their computers on Facebook more will make them happier and healthier. But what gets measured with social media is reach. So, we have this global network of computers that we spent the last 40 years building. We have these billion-dollar corporations that are driving content, and we have hundreds of millions of people connected worldwide. The world is flatter than it's ever been. And what we do with this technology is like. Right? That's what we do. So, and that's how we measure. That's how we measure reach in social media. So, how many people retweeted the tweet? How many people liked my Facebook post? How many people liked my Facebook post? There's starving children in Africa. Please help. Retweet. And we feel better about it. But leaders want to do more than just collect fans and followers. They want to educate, inspire, and lead people to make changes in themselves and around the world. Right? So leaders that flock to social media, that are using it as a broadcast mechanism to push out information. But, there's still a real question about whether or not that's actually affecting change. And followers, we as followers, we're the people who are consuming social media, we want to do more than just read stuff and like things. We want to get involved. A lot of times we don't really know what to do, right? We don't just want to repeat this stuff and be part of the broadcast machine. We want to get involved and make our world a better place. So we want to participate, produce, and so really the microphones. So social tools today, social tools do not exist to facilitate the process. So Facebook, Twitter, they're all about broadcast. They're not about facilitating action that follows on what those leaders try to accomplish. And that's what Go.Do does. We created that's the reason we created Go.Do. And we want to measure the impact. Measure, instead of 327 likes, we want to measure 327 people that actually did something. So our purpose is to give leaders the opportunity to make a difference through sharing action-oriented Go-Dos. And a Go-Do is what we call an action that a leader kind of puts out in the world to be done. And then measure that impact for that leader to be able to go back and say, hey, this is, as a group, as an organization, this is what we accomplished. So we've invented the notion of social action instead of just social media. Whereas Twitter and Facebook are sharing, we're about social action, actually trying to create things in the real world that are being done. So as an example, like Sanjay Gupta would go and hopefully, so one day Sanjay Gupta will go and create what we call a group that has a purpose statement and a name. People can sign up to be members of that group. He then publishes an action in that group to be done. So in this case, he might say something like, hey, today, park, wherever you go to work, park in the furthest parking spot out. And so you walk a bunch of extra steps on your way to work. That gets broadcast out through traditional Twitter and Facebook, but also through push notification on our platform. And then throughout the day, people just do this. They go into our app and they see something to do instead of just a like. They do that activity. So over the next day, maybe 17,221 people check the done button in the Go.Do app. And then Dr. Gupta can report that these 17,000 people did this, and that's an estimated 2,000 extra miles per walk and an additional 25,000 calories that were burned. So you can look at what the group is accomplishing on a whole. So that's kind of generally what it is, but I want to do a quick product demo. So this app is already on the App Store. It's we've done a soft launch. We're going to do a big launch event in May. Let me get the, I'm going to take a the screen here. There we go. So our app is only on iOS currently. We also have kind of a view-only web version that's pretty thin at the moment, but we plan to have a full functioning web app sometime in the near future, as well as an Android platform. And you can read my text messages while I'm presenting. Did you need help with something? I guess I didn't. So we go into Go.Do, and when we come into Go.Do, the first thing that we see is this home screen. I've joined some groups, and any current actions that are available in groups that I've been able to show up in my actions there at the top. So that action on the left, oh my goodness, I can only, I'm sorry. I really hope this is my band members, so if there's like some expletives, I really apologize. So this is what an action looks like. This group is a group that Jacob Johnson has put together, and he gives tips on how to take better photographs with iPhones. And so he can publish a video. And if you, the speakers apparently aren't good to TV, but he's actually giving instructions on what to do, and what he's telling you to do. He's telling you how to take candid photos with your iPhone by using the headphone cord to do a remote shutter to snap pictures of people without them knowing about it. He's telling you to take a picture of somebody in public. So I want to do this action. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. It's kind of a neat thing you can do. And Jacob's done a really great job with this group. He has all kinds of really great ideas about how to take better pictures with your iPhone. And this is all about sort of capturing the moment. Here's somebody, I don't even know who this person is, but somebody has sort of candidly captured these soldiers passing the time in Afghanistan. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say I did it, and I'm going to add a photo from my camera roll because I took this photo earlier. A candid photo of Jeff Simpson hanging out by himself. So I'm going to say a lonely Jeff Simpson, right? And now I'm going to say I've done it. And it posts in there, it posts on the timeline, and there's the photo. And that's pretty much all there is to it. From the user's perspective. So I can go out and find groups that interest me. I can join them, and so if it's I'm really interested in the social causes aspect of this. So in organizations where I might just write a check once a year or something like that, but I really want to do something. I really want to do something for the Sierra Club. What do I do on a daily basis to further that cause? And so this is a way that those organizations can help me do stuff to further that cause.
All right, with that, I'm going to cut you off. We're going to open up for Q&A. And also, while we're talking, if you haven't already, go download Go.Do.
Go.Do in the App Store.
All right, questions?
So you said that it'll post and you can sync this with your Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Is that like ultimate goal eventually you'll end up like an Instagram or something like that, and like $1 billion? Is that, if that's the direction you're going with it?
Are you offering $1 million? A billion? You say $1 billion. Are you offering $1 billion?
No, that's just, if it syncs with those, is that kind of the platform you're trying to sync with those together?
Well, we definitely realize the power of social sharing. We're not trying to say that social sharing is bad or sweet or without value. And we understand that that's how people want to share things that they do. So we're definitely connecting into Facebook and Twitter. But what you share on Facebook and Twitter are these actual actions. So you have to actually be doing stuff in our platform to share out to those. And gosh, if that gets the attention of Facebook at some point and we get $1 billion, offer from Facebook, we'll definitely consider it at that time.
Hey, so just a simple, silly question, but this is really more directed for folks that want to gather that information for themselves. So it's really not going to do a whole lot for me except just my sharing. I love to share stuff about myself, about this event, but really it's a great platform. I'm assuming just solely, or mainly for those folks who just like this gentleman sharing his abilities to show us how to use the camera, and then he can actually take that feedback and really utilize it. I mean, that's the focus, correct?
Actually, no, it's twofold. There absolutely is unquestionably benefits to a leader of a group, but we wouldn't have a platform if we didn't believe there's real value for the end user. Like any social media platform, step one is get 1 million users, and we can't do that unless we're driving value to the end user. So what is the value to the end user? The value to the end user is there are all kinds of causes that I believe in, that I support, that I retweet on Twitter, that I send checks to on an annual basis. But on a daily basis, I don't know what to do to integrate in my daily life to support that, to support the Sierra Club, or support NBC Interaction. Or we have a lot of youth groups that are interested in this, right? So the youth group leader is looking at it saying, I want to help, I see my kids Wednesdays and Sundays, but I want to help them throughout the week to think about their spiritual teachings and how they can integrate that into their life on a daily basis. So today, read this Bible passage and act on it in this way, right? So as the end user, it's a way to identify a bunch of things that I'm interested in, and then get these little things that I can do on a daily basis that help me support those things that I'm passionate about.
Matt, what's the plan? I've played around with it a lot, and I enjoy the different, like Jacob's group. I really enjoy learning about these things. What's sort of the plan to identify these content creators, like a Jacob or a celebrity, whatever, to mobilize lots of people to download the app quickly?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So right now, we really are a soft launch. We had to get the app in the App Store to start people using it. So if you do onboard onto the app, there's not a ton of groups on there. There's not a lot of activity. And our biggest challenge right now is recruiting good, strong leaders that can create good, compelling content for people to show up. And there's a little bit of a chicken and an egg thing going on. It's a little bit of a spoiler alert, but our big ask is for people that have organizations or leaders that think they might be interested in this to look at the app or reach out to us. But the big event that we're doing is we've partnered. Can I talk about this? So the big event that we're looking forward to is our official launch is going to be on May 9th. We've partnered with LeaderCast, which is this enormous conference focused on leaders that happens in how many cities? Like a bazillion cities at the same time. It's centered out around Atlanta, but they simulcast this thing to a bunch of arenas around the country, and it reaches 100,000. I should know all these numbers. A ton of people. So that's going to be our big launch, and we're actually partnering with them. They're actually going to talk about our platform as a mechanism for leaders to connect with their organizations and to show the actions of their organizations. And so that's kind of going to be our big launch on May 9th. And we're hoping that obviously catapults us into a lot of diversity of different types of groups and different types of leaders. Right now, we're going out kind of one-on-one, finding small organizations or small groups. We have a lot of interest in faith-based initiatives right now, so we're looking at a lot of youth groups. We have some special interest types of things, Jacob's photography group. When you onboard onto the app, you'll automatically be put into a group that we call the Daily Do, which is kind of our example. We lead by example, a group that we maintain just to make sure that there's something to do when you onboard onto the app. So that's the kind of stuff that's in there now.
So as you're designing and developing this application, there's obviously social media inside the application. And where do you draw the line for the interactions with the other people? Because you're doing the sharing on Facebook and Twitter, how do you as a designer decide what stays in the app and what gets shared outside of the app? And a related question is, what is this app not for?
That is a great question. And something we thought a lot about. So we draw the line at action. A lot of the idea behind our app came from discontentment that we have with the lack of action surrounding social media today. The notion of the like, right? I like something and I get to walk away. And so we really try to make sure everything that we do in our app is around an action. So as an end user, I can't just go in and post something to my friends. That's something, if you just want to share an idea or a thought or whatever, that's a Facebook, Twitter thing. In our app, you have to be doing something. So if you're a member of a group and you just want to take action, in order to post, there are really only two things you can do. You can either do something and post about what you've done, and post the fact that you've done it, or you can comment on somebody else's, what we call a did. So if you've done something and I see it, I want to say, hey, that's great, Jeff. That's inspirational. I can comment on that. And we were even a little wishy-washy on whether we wanted to add that commenting part, but we really felt that people wanted to, we wanted that kind of, that peer group, like inside a youth group, to encourage each other and those types of things. So you can't comment on other people's did, but that's it. So you can't really do anything in our app unless you're taking action and reporting it, or creating actions, directions or actions for other people to do. And then everything else we look at as being part of the social share world that we want you to do and push you off into Facebook.
I think I can actually help you with some connections. I was just thinking about, did you ever see or read the book Love Does?
I'm sorry, what book?
Love Does by Bob Goff.
Oh, no.
He's always about action, and doing, and he wrote this great book. You should read it sometime. But in the back of the book, he gives his phone number, and he encourages people actually to contact him. He's followed by millions of people, and he'd be probably one of the best connections for you as your celebrity endorsement. And he does answer the phone and give you the number. So, and the other thing would be, I used to work at a missions organization based out of Gainesville, Georgia, and we would get 500,000 hits in one of our sites per week, and 250,000 on one of our other sites, and it would be a great connection with just participants and things like that that are actually going on the mission. So,
great.
And then finally, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Father of Light. Darren Wilson. Another big guy that this would be a great movie. So I'll give you three.
He only charges $10,000 per connection.
Yes. The short answer to that is yes. Absolutely, we will. We're actually doing, I'm in the middle of doing more Facebook integration right now. I'm actually iOS developer project. And I hate Facebook. As a developer, it's horrible. There's no hate. There's a hate button. If there's a hate button, there's a hate Facebook. But yes, no, absolutely. We want to be able to onboard with Facebook. We want to be able to onboard with Twitter. And frankly, one of our big challenges right now is attention span, right? So Twitter and Facebook, and we also have people like, well, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to create an account. I just want to come in and look at content. That's not what we're about. We're not about like browsing content. And so we not that we don't recognize the value of that or the marketing potential of that, but it's something that we struggle with internally to try to decide, hey, if you actually want to do stuff, there's some very, but we are going to do onboarding with Facebook. We are going to do eventually onboarding with Twitter probably as well. It was important for us, Instagram is moving this way as well. It was important for us to have our own accounts that are kind of separate from the rest of the social media world. And since we knew we wanted to do that, that's where we started. But we will be doing probably before our big launch. So please go ahead.
I'm curious how you prevent the like, the retweet, the favorite from becoming the action that people are asking other people to do, so you can avoid becoming just another funnel back into those larger social media.
I'm hoping to have to deal with that problem. I can't imagine someone coming into an app like ours, going through the onboarding process, finding groups, having these actions pushed to them, just to have a way to put content on Facebook. If you want to put content on Facebook, you're just going to go there and do it. Thus far, we don't have a lot of users yet. We have a few hundred users in the system currently. We really had zero problem with people just posting garbage. We know that's coming, but it hasn't started happening yet. And we believe that that's because of the nature of the tool and the process. You really kind of have to go through a series of steps and focus on what you're trying to accomplish before you can start putting content into the system. And that kind of serves as a stone mechanism to police things. But if we got to the point that we felt like you can, by the way, did it without adding content, you can add a text comment or a single photograph or a single video. And we limit those to single video and single video because we don't want people to just use it to blast a ton of content in there. It's really about, hey, I did this thing and here's a short little sentiment about that. But if we got to the point that everyone just did it and there was no content, but we had a lot of users, we would probably start raising that bar through user interface design to make it harder to do that. Like if we had 1 million did it today but nobody was posting content, we might say, look, you've got to do one of the three. You've got to put a text comment, you've got to put a video comment, you've got to, or something like that. Or every third one you have to add content. Or we would do something to tweak the UI to make sure that, or to try to encourage people to actually be doing these things.
I may follow up quickly. Have you thought about putting in terms of use so that when you create the action, part of the terms of use is you can't just have a like and favorite comment as part of the social media as part of the terms of use for creating the actual two items.
Because people read the terms of use.
Well,
yeah, well, it's in there. It's in there. Go ahead and read for it. Put it in.
Two questions. Can the creator of a group restrict who joins the group or what content they post? And second, do you generate revenues or plan to?
Yes, we plan to generate revenue. I'll answer them in reverse order. Right now there are no limits on, there's no notion of a private group. There's no notion on limiting people who can be in your group. Those types of things don't exist yet. We do have stories for them. We don't have a need for them yet. Right now we're trying to build, we want to get that 1 million users. So right now it's most beneficial to us to have public content. If we had somebody big that wanted to onboard, that they had to have that they promised us 1 million users, we would talk about it. But right now it's not a priority story for that reason. The private stuff doesn't help us grow. But it is a story we are looking at doing in the future. The monetization model for this, well, step one is to get 1 million users. Beyond that, we are looking at a notion of what we call Go.Do Pro, which will be a subscription model that will be most valuable to leaders, actually exclusively valuable to leaders. So leaders that really want to pull analytics out, they want to be able to pull out all this content, to be able to get collages of photos and things like that easily out of the app. to have sort of better insight management into their analytics, to have more control over posting, to have more control over branding. We actually have we haven't actually built the pro piece yet, but that's the roadmap. And we're not sure, we have a whole lot of ideas for the features of the pro piece, but we haven't actually sort of defined the prioritization for those yet and built that out. But the goal is to build a pro piece that is subscription oriented, focused on the computer side of things, and monetize through that.
Will you or do you have a way to monitor the content in the way that on Facebook or Instagram you can flag something as inappropriate? Because I'm picturing like a high school kid, snorting vodka and salsa, and then trying to get people like one up, doing it, posting videos. So do you have a plan for that?
Yeah, no, little fun fact for anybody aspiring to create a social media app for Apple. Apple will not they will not approve a social media app that has user-generated photo or video content unless you have a flag as inappropriate mechanism and you convince Apple that you're monitoring it and will take action on it. You have to have a written policy on that, and you have to have a mechanism implemented before they will approve that. So right now, anyone can flag as inappropriate content in our app, and there's a menu option for that. And then if you are a leader, you basically have editorial rights to everything underneath your group. Editorial meaning you can delete. So I can delete, if I create an action and you do it, and you do something inappropriate, as the leader, I can delete your did it. If someone comments on yours and like, that's stupid, I can delete their comment if I want, as the leader. And as well as Go.Do reserves the right to of course, police inappropriate content. So we gave some power to the leaders to be able to police their own use.
What if I'm the inappropriate leader? Do you have the capability to either delete the group that I've created that is inappropriate?
Yeah.
And that's just up to your judgment as far as what's...
You can delete the whole app if you want. All right, Matt, what can we, the entrepreneurial community, do to help you guys at this stage besides these 3 connections and OfferBoxx Go.Do?
So download the app and try it out, number 1. Number 2, if you're in an organization, if you lead an organization, you know of an organization that's really trying to find mechanisms to connect on a daily basis with their membership better, please let them know about our app, have them contact us. We'd love to help coach them on how to create a group and how to write effective go-dos in their organization. We're really focused on social causes, faith-based organizations, and youth groups, any sort of nonprofit organization that's trying to motivate their membership, or really anybody that has an existing organization where they want to try to connect better and actually accomplish action on a daily basis. That's who we're looking for.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Go.Do. A couple announcements that I skipped over here. So showing us stuff there. Okay, we got Daniel here with OSU. He's going to announce their event.
Hi everybody, good morning. My name is Daniel Holloman. I'm a GA at the Riata Center for Entrepreneurship at OSU Tulsa. And I'm here to talk to you about the Inspire Conference that's coming up on April 8th. It's going to be a great opportunity for entrepreneurs to come together and hear from presenters such as Lauren Bush-Lauren and Lane Bryant, I believe is his name. Lane Norton. And he's a fitness instructor, and he will be talking about entrepreneurship in the fitness industry. And it's a great event for everyone to attend, so if you can make that, that'd be good. It's April 8th, and you can go to riata.okstate.edu/inspire. And in the back, I've actually got some flyers on the table over there for you to pick up if you want to check it out.
Flyers. And if you're wondering what this apparatus is, Oklahoma State is now live streaming 1 Million Cups Tulsa nationwide. Brett is sick today. He's watching us. Blow him a kiss. And we'll be having people watch us in Stillwater soon. They'll be submitting questions via Twitter. and so we'll have another audience there. So it's very cool, and we're very appreciative of them funding that.
Yeah.
It's actually on the 1 Million Cups Tulsa website, 1millioncups.com/Tulsa. You click watch the live stream, and there you go. And then lastly, we've got an event on Tuesday.
Yeah, our company, along with Jacob's company, Get With Creative, are hosting next Tuesday morning on Fat Tuesday. Next Tuesday morning here at the Kids Coffee Shop at Foolish Things, an event called Talk Less, Sell More, and it's how to visually sell. So there's a URL that Jacob had created, talkless.eventbrite.com, and we're extending our invitation to you all if you would like to attend. Next Tuesday morning, 7:30 here
We'll
at
throw
Foolish
that up on
Things.
Facebook too. We'll get that link. So that's it. Just a reminder, Nate Olson will be in town next week. 1 Million Cups founder. We'd love to have you guys attend. We'd love to have everybody standing in the back. We have to blow the curtain back and invite your friends. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.